Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vance. In our last tutorial, I taught us how to cut this beautiful Igbo blouse. So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching us how to sew all of it together. So this was where we stopped in our last tutorial. So I've gone ahead to cut all of the pieces together. And what I'm going to do next is to set them all aside and introduce my lace fabric. So this is the lace fabric I'll be using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place all the patterns that I cut initially after I was done arranging the lace. So this was it when I was arranging. So when I was done, guys, I had to go ahead and place the center front at the middle of the lace, just the way you see me doing. So the fold is meeting the folded part. So I'll go ahead and pin down. I'll do the same thing also for the sides. I'll do the same thing for the back, and that'll be it. So just watch how I was placing it. As you can see, I left out the selvage edge of the lace because I want that side to show on the blouse. I wanted it to give it more beauty in case she doesn't want to tie all the wrapper tie the wrapper all the way to the blouse. She can just fly the blouse. So that was why I left the selvage part. So this was it when I was cutting. As you can see, I've gone ahead to cut the center back. So this was it when I was cutting the side back and the side front, and then the center front of it. So when I'm done cutting, guys, what I'm going to do next is to unpin. So I'm going to set the lace and the lining fabric aside, and then I'm going to work on the bridal satin part, because it's in the bridal satin that I'm going to add my breast pad. So when I was done, I'll just set aside the lace and the lining. So this is my bridal satin. This is where I'm going to add the breast pad. So I had to introduce my breast pad at this point, and then I placed my center front on the breast pad and I cut. So when I was done cutting, guys, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done cutting out all the breast parts. So I'll go now to my ironing table and I'll iron them together with the satin. So this was when I was done ironing my breast pad into the satin. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to laminate my lace and my satin fabric together. So this is the hemming gum that I'm using for it. This comes in yards. So this is the leftover. So I went ahead to place the hemming gum on the satin, and then I cut out exactly the shape of my center front, just the way you see me doing. When I'm done cutting it out, I'm going to just go ahead and place the lace on it. So watch carefully. I've placed the lace. Make sure that the lace matches exactly with the bridal satin. So when I was satisfied with how it was, I went ahead to use my iron to steam it together. So this was when I was ironing, guys. You have to be careful at this point. If your iron is not a steam iron, I would advise that you place a plain fabric on this before ironing. But if your iron is a steam fabric, then you're safe. So when I was done, guys, are you seeing? It's looking all good. So we have laminated this. So I'm going to go ahead and laminate all of the other piece, both the back and everything. I'm laminating all of it together. So this was when I was done with the lamination. Are you seeing, guys? This is so good and it looks very clean. So I'm going to go ahead now and start sewing down. I placed my center back and my side back together to sew down. I set it aside, and then I went ahead to introduce my center front and my side front. like this. So I'm going to go ahead also and sew them down and show you how it looks. So this was when I was done sewing the front of our blouse. Are you seeing? So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and notch the breast part so that I can easily iron them. So this was when I was notching. So you should also notch yours so you can iron easily. So when I was done, guys, I'll go ahead also and iron it out, and I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done sewing the back too. I'm also going to go ahead and iron the back. I've not ironed it right now, so I'll go ahead and iron it and show you how it looks. So this is the lining. I've gone ahead to sew the lining too for the back, and I've also gone ahead to sew the lining for the front. So this is the lining for the front. I'm going to set all of them aside. This is the yoke. I'm going to also go ahead and set all of them aside and iron them properly. So guys, this was the front. I was done ironing. Are you seeing, guys? This is so neat. This is so beautiful. If your breast part does not stand like this, then there's a problem. You need to work on it. So this was it, guys. This is the back block also. I've gone ahead to also iron the back too. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead at this point, and then I'll place my lining, my lining to lining. That's the right side of my lining will face the right side of the lace. So I'll go ahead, guys, and I'll pin it down. So I'm pinning the lining and the lace together, so it will help me to easily sew them. So I'm still pinning down, arranging it while pinning. So guys, this was it when I was done pinning. I also did the same thing for the other part. So because I didn't sew my lining and my lace, my satin together, so this is another method that you can use. So I went ahead to fold the tip of my lining like this, so that it's going to match with the satin. I don't know if you understand. Remember that there is a satin under the lace, so I wanted it to match with the lining. I didn't want the lining to start protruding out of the lace, so I had to go on like this to fold it with my pin, and then I'll go to my sewing machine and sew it down. I will do the same thing for the other part and for the front part too. So I'll go ahead and go to my sewing machine and sew down the neck part, the zip part, and the side, and I'll show you how it looks like. Then for the front part, I'll go ahead and attach my yoke to the front part. So this was me attaching the yoke. After I was done with this, I will go ahead and pin it down. I work with pins a lot because it helps me a lot. So this was the other part. I went ahead to also attach my yoke to the blouse. Then I'll go ahead and place my lining right side facing right side, and I'll also go ahead and sew down like this, sew the sides, and I'll show you how it looks. So this was when I was done sewing the back side. Are you seeing, guys? This is also the front. I've gone ahead to sew down the front too. It's looking so fine, and I've ironed. So this is the front. Are you seeing how the savage part is looking fine? So for my back block, guys, I'll go ahead and sew down the zip part so that I can attach my zip. So this is this zip part. I've gone ahead to sew it down, and I will introduce my zip. I'll sew down my zip. So this is the zip part when I was done sewing, guys. Are you seeing? So at this point, guys, I'll go ahead and take my client shape, her bust divided by 4. I'm going to mark it. Her waist divided by 4. I'll mark it there. And her hip divided by 4. I'll go ahead also and mark it down. I'll do the same thing for this other side, and then I'll introduce the front. So I'll place the back and the front together and go and join my shoulder to shoulder. I'll sew down my, I seen how I'm joining the shoulder to shoulder so that the rough edge is not going to show. So I'll sew down, and then I'll shape the sides together just the way you see me doing. I'll shape the side following the mark that I made at the back, that chalk mark. I'll use it as a guide in sewing the back and the front together. So this is my sleeve, guys. I've gone ahead to fold my lace into 4, and then I'll go ahead now and take the length of the sleeve. So for the length of the lace, I'm going to be using 9 inches, and then for the bisect, I'm going to be using 4 inches. 4 inches is standard for your bisects, guys. So I'll take the round sleeve measurement divided by 2. Your round sleeve is always divided by 2. I'll add my allowance, and then for the other side of the round sleeve, I'll also divide it by 2 and add my allowance. I'll connect them together, and then I'll give my the sleeve an armhole curve. So I'm going to go and recheck if this corresponds with my armhole. So it doesn't, I went ahead to add more allowances, and then I connected it down to the sleeve length. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut. This sleeve is actually an easy one, so I'll go ahead and also cut the arm of my sleeve. So this was it when I was done. I'll notch, and then this is it for the sleeve. So to make it more fitted, I went ahead and just cut out a little bit from the sleeve, so it's going to be fitted around the armhole. But this is optional though. This is optional. So this is the down part of our sleeve. When you check the thumbnail, you'll see that there is a pleated stuff around the sleeve. So I'm going to use my satin to cut it out. So for the longer length, I'm going to be using 6 inches for the longer length. So I'm going to go ahead now and mark my 6 inches all the way to the end of the satin. So this was me marking my 6 inches all through. So when I'm done marking it, the next thing I'm going to do is to use my ruler and connect all the points that I made together. After I was done connecting the points, I'll go ahead and cut out. So guys, at this point, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, like, share, comment. So I'll go ahead now and open this part. So this is going to serve as for both sleeve. So I cut this for both sleeve. Are you seeing? So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and then for the shorter part, I'll fold my fabric again like this into 2, and then I'll go ahead and mark my 3 inches. For the shorter length, I use 3 inches. For the longer length, I use 6 inches. So this was me still arranging, and then I went ahead to mark my 3 inches. So for the length of this, I used 18 inches because this whole satin is 1 yard. So 1 yard is 36 inches. So when you divide 36 by 2, it's going to give you 18 inches. So for one sleeve, I used 18 inches. For the other sleeve, I used 18 inches for the length. Why for the width? The longer part is 6 inches and the shorter part is 3 inches. I hope you understand. So I went ahead to share them. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and turn the right side of this satin, and then I'll also turn the right side of the other part of the shorter part. I don't know if you get. Hope I'm not confusing you. So this was it when I turned it. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the longer part. So this is the longer part, guys. I will now place the shorter part on the longer part. So this was it when I placed it on it like this. I'll do the same thing for the other part. I'm going to place the shorter part on the longer part like this. Then I'll go ahead and sew them down together. Go to my sewing machine and just sew it down together, and then when I'm done sewing them down, I'll bring my sleeve and then I'll start pleating it round my sleeve. So when I'm done, guys, I'll show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done pleating it around my sleeve. Are you seeing the sleeve? It's so beautiful. So at this point, I'm going to go to my I weave it. I weave that rough edge. So this was it, guys. This is the sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and attach the sleeve to the blouse. So this is the blouse. I'm going to go ahead now and attach my sleeve to the blouse, guys. Are you seeing? So guys, this was when I was done attaching my sleeve to my blouse. Are you seeing? It's looking so fine. See how the savage edge came out? So beautiful, so neat. Are you seeing, guys? This is the yoke part. This is the sleeve, the satin that I added to the lace part. Are you seeing? So guys, if you found value in my video, please do well to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment in the comment section. So we've come to the end of today's tutorial. So guys, thank you so much. This was when I wore it on the mannequin. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye guys.